starts with is Olivia Miles, whether she plays or doesn't play. How are y'all preparing for that in the eventuality that she could play?
I think you just prepare for everyone. I do think they have a freshman in Hannah Hidalgo, who's very similar in that they both push the ball down the floor. They both can score. They both create for others. So it's like one and the same. But I think, if Olivia plays, she's just more experienced. She's been there before. She's done it. And I don't think she would get rattled.
I know you don't have much to scout from just because they've only played the exhibition too, but do you think they would just plug in Hidalgo for Olivia, or could they go with more height and maybe try to out-tall you guys?
I mean, we can only go by what they did in their one exhibition game in which Hidalgo started. I think they'll go with that lineup. I think her speed and her ability to play on both sides of the ball, though she's young, will probably mesh a little bit better. I'm not their coach, but probably will mesh a little bit better with kind of inserting if Olivia Miles doesn't play what they're used to.
How about your lineup? Do you feel like you have a good feel for the five you want to start with, or is that going to be more of a game time decision?
We got a feel for it. We'll put them out there tomorrow.
Ton, have your players been able to really process just how big this game is for the women's game? I know just for myself, I'm overstimulated by everything going on. So have they been able to really process what they're doing this week?
No, I think they'll just take each moment as it is. I don't think they get too far ahead of themselves. I don't even think the players that we have really understand how to prep for a game because they're so used to having watched, our core group of players start basketball games last year. So they really don't know how to prep, what their routines would be like, if they'd be very similar to what they're used to. Probably not, because they gotta be ready to rock and roll. I mean, that's all the players. 11 of our players have to be in that position because half of them are new, the other half they're not new, but starting basketball games is new to them.
Dawn, since y'all been here every day, has kind of been packed with activities. What's
Yeah.
tomorrow like since y'all don't tip off till 7?
Yeah, tomorrow's a typical game day in which we'll have we'll have shoot around in the morning, pregame, and then we probably leave a little bit earlier than we normally do for a game because it's so far from our hotel to the arena.
Tahina was saying she's learned a lot about this team off the court from this trip. Have you just learned anything about the personalities of this group during your days here so far?
Yeah, I mean they're a funny group. They're a tight knit group. They're a group that they stick together. Whether it's from what they want to wear, whether it's dress up or sweats, to just different things that you hear them say at the events that we've been to. So it's pretty cool to get to know them on that level and see our team grow to a cohesive unit.
Who's the funniest player on this team?
Funniest player? I think Camilla's pretty funny. I don't think she means to be, but I think she's pretty witty with things.
Dawn, I know that you maybe don't like to assign leadership. It's more a thing that you like to see players take. Who have taken over those roles that you had for so many of the last 4 years?
I think a little bit of everyone, but Powell's got a good voice. Camilla's got a really strong voice. So it's probably between the two of them. Raven's here, and Raven does what she wants to do on the basketball court. But as far as taking on a leadership role and knowing where to be and where to go and directing other people, it's a lot different off the floor than it is on the floor.
Speaking of Raven, do you think she's been a little overlooked this season going into this year?
I mean, if you ask Raven, probably yes. But Raven, she didn't start last year. She had some pretty good games. I think people are probably reserving judgment until they actually see her play, which isn't a bad thing for me. Like I think Raven is a fighter. Raven is a grinder. Raven's gonna use it to fuel her to prove people that she should have been a part of some of these preseason recognitions.
Watching the team at the youth clinic yesterday, everybody was getting really into just being with the kids and the music, singing, dancing, even with the language barrier. What was it like for you to watch them, help shepherd younger kids into this game, considering how much you've done that over the course of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see young people pour into other young people because a lot of them come. I mean, I saw Camilla's quote in that she was one of these little girls that looked up to that type of clinic. So, I mean, it's great to see her really understand that and really pour into the young people. And then, all of our players were really happy and joyous to give back, and that's what life is about, is to be able to understand where you are in life and understand that somebody helped you, somebody pushed you along the way, and for the little French girls that were out there, I hope that it's a memorable day that in which forces them to give back to some other young people all across the world.
And kind of on that, we saw the turnout from the fans at practice yesterday. I mean, just what has it meant to you to see how many of them were able to, follow you guys across the ocean here?
I mean, it's really a cool thing. I mean, I don't know if I was envious of other programs that had fans that traveled, but what our fans have created is something truly special. Like, we've provided opportunities for them to travel abroad, and they've shown up in great numbers. Anytime we have an open practice at home or now abroad, there will be a lot of people packing the house. So I think it's really a great dynamic, and it was probably an untold story about the rise of our program and how they've inserted themselves in helping us grow.
Dawn, where do you draw the line tomorrow between, if it's a close game, seeing what everybody can do, 1 through 11, or saying these are the 5 that have earned kind of the trust to take a close game home?
I mean, we're so young that we're going to have to go by who's playing well on any given day. I do think the people that we put out there in the starting 5 earned it just over the course of our preseason. But nothing's a lock. I told them nothing's a lock. If you don't like, the fact that you're not a part of the starting 5, do something about it. I'm a production person. Like, you produce, you get to play. It's not that I don't like anybody or it's personal. It's just about production and the unity of a 5 that's out there. So.
Yeah, was talking about how experienced Notre Dame is. I know whether Olivia plays or not. Is there anything about Notre Dame that stands out to you? Is there one thing they do that really jumps out on the film?
I mean, they're very skillful. They're very methodical in knowing what they want. They're great readers of defense. So, we have a lapse. They're gonna make us pay. I do think they have the ability to score a lot of basketball. I mean, score a lot of points. And then, I think they'll play zone. I think they'll start in some man or so, but when it's all said and done, I think they'll pack it in on us, and hopefully we put our players in a good enough position to be confident to knock down some shots.
You think zone just because that's what they do, or is that to take away Camilla?
A little bit of both. I do think Camilla creates a mismatch, and it's one that we need to exploit, whether they're a man, whether they're in sagging man, whether they're in zone. We do have to exploit that matchup. But, I mean, in watching them, their go-to is his zone. So we're prepared for however, because we've been working on this as Coach Boyer's scout, and she wanted to start in the summer. But we started about 3 weeks ago. So.
I know back in Colombia there's so much interest in Malaysia. What have you seen from her preparation going into this game?
It's been great. It's been great up until today. I don't think today was her best day as far as prepping, but that's going to happen with young people. It's not going to escape her. It's not going to escape Tessa. It's not going to escape Sanaya Jai. It's not even going to escape Sakima. I mean, they're just so new. It's not going to escape Reezy or any one of our teams. It's how you come back the next day, how you're able to turn the page and and get down to business. How you're able to, if you didn't have a good day, you come back and you study, you watch, you go over your scouting report, so you're prepared for tomorrow.